98.3 Milan FM.
Good morning and thank God it's Friday. I sincerely apologize. We're starting a few minutes late this morning. Friday has begun, I guess. All right, it's 7:43 a.m. right here at Midland 98.3 FM, and it's time for us to talk trending stories on the front pages of our dailies. My name still remains Omobola Sandra. I'll be having Fuhad Sahi joining in via the phone line to give analysis to all of our stories that we're going to be discussing this morning. Whatever it is that you had to go through in the course of the week, for you to get to work, for those who had to trek, for those who had to, knock on doors that you ordinarily would never ever knock on, for those who had to seek solace or seek support or seek help from places that ordinarily you would, not not necessarily have to. I hope that you stay positive. I hope that you keep the faith and the hope alive. It's very, very important because, for the better days that are ahead, we need to stay focused, we need to stay positive, and we need to stay strong through it all. And, just remain patriotic to this great, very, very great country of ours, irrespective of all that is being thrown at us, or irrespective of all that, the country may be going through at this time. I just hope that will be able to just sustain someone through the weekend. Enjoy yourself, have fun, do what you need to do to get the stress off, and then let's go again next week by God's grace. God keep us, all of us. All right, let's move on now to the major trending stories this morning. I have the Punch, I have the Guardian, I have the Nation, and I have Vanguard in no particular order. We'll be looking through the major stories, not all of the stories, but the major trending stories on the front pages. But before we move on to the papers, good morning, Fuad.
Good morning, Sandra, and thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
People can go and rest and have massages or something after all the trekking and all of the stress that they went through in the course of the week, or the queuing, people that had to sit for hours queuing to try to get some fuel in their car. So help all of us.
Well, the reality of Nigeria at this time, what do? We keep moving.
But there's something I just need to appreciate about Nigerians. We're so resilient, so many things, just come our way, and one way or the other, people just try to find one way to adjust. Is it just me that's seeing that people seem to be, just packing themselves and just adjusting to the situation? Or are we still, do we still have people out there who are saying, oh no, let's go back to status quo?
No, that's the reason people say, look, if you get to a place and you don't find a Nigerian anywhere in the world, just leave that place. Nigeria can cope anywhere, under any condition. I think it's just in our DNA, our nature. We find a way to always learn to cope. It's not given, yeah.
Well, I hope that it will get us to greater places. All right, let's start with the Guardian newspaper this morning. The major headline there, very interesting one. In search of independent 10th National Assembly for tough times. Well, the 10th National Assembly is now the focus, is now the second focus or second focal point in the country now. This is a big story in the Guardian newspaper. It's on pages 4 and 5. As it is now, the 10th National Assembly will be having their inauguration on June 13th. Yes, June 13th, that's on Tuesday. And by indications, conversations are still ongoing as regards the micro zoning, or the zoning that the APC, had to get done for principal offices in the House. So as it is now, we still have, Akpabio and Yari, those are the anointed ones of the APC. However, the aggrieved, let me put it that way, the aggrieved aspirants, are still going out there lobbying and speaking with people. And as it is now, even despite the fact that the president himself had to meet with these aggrieved lawmakers, it still didn't come to any fruition, or got to a fruition, I guess. So Fuhad, do you think one word, it's a very, very long read, they broke it down, the intro, there's the party politics, the zoning formula, contenders, pretenders, and all of that. Do you think one way or the other that the APC would be able to resolve this before Tuesday, or do we see maybe a divided house on Tuesday, and everybody just goes to the ballot with their hands open wide?
Well, I carefully read that story in the Guardian newspaper this morning, incidentally written by our in-house analyst in the Situation Room. The head of concluded that the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Muiwa Adeyemi, and I think basically what he was trying to bring out from that story is that, look, more than ever before, Nigeria needs an independent National Assembly, not to be destructive in reality, but to put the presidency in check, to ensure that they're able to perform their legislative functions, because really, Sandra, a lot of the new things that we're expecting to happen in Nigeria for the greater good of all will need strong legislative framework. So we need sound minds, we need independent minds to be able to set legislative agenda for the country. But the question is this: the way we're already playing the politics of the National Assembly, can it guarantee that much desired independence that we've been talking about? No, there's always this argument of, do we need an independent assembly or a rubber stamp assembly or a cooperative assembly? And I'll say that, look, as much as we don't expect to get a rubber stamp assembly, we also must ensure that, look, we have an assembly that is ready to work with the executive, to bring Nigeria up again. But while doing that, while we are hoping to get an assembly that will be ready to back up policies of the executive framework, we have to be careful to have an assembly that will just say yes, everything has been brought to the table or is brought before it. So again, I understand the politics of the assembly. Again, as it is, the Senate is almost done and dusted for the APC as far as their choice is concerned. I actually think that Godswill Akpabio will be able to make that. Abdulaziz Yari, probably the only major contestant now from the Northwest against the choice of the APC. And to some extent, I'm already saying that, look, that momentum seems to have dropped around him. For the House of Reps, it's a bit more contentious. The opposition has 182 House of Reps members, while the APC has 178. So means in that house, the opposition has numbers. But I can see that the APC is playing the game. If you have, for example, the G5 governors who are influential on a lot of the honorables around them, supporting the choice of the APC, I also think that somehow the APC's choice would prevail at the House of Reps. But the reality is that, look, choosing principal officers does not the politics of the National Assembly. Yes, other dissatisfied members may get juicy positions and all of that. But going forward, what about national interest? What about the national agenda? What of the ability to do the job that they have been elected to do? Those are the things we'll be paying attention to. Yes, the APC may be able to get its way as far as these issues are concerned. But ultimately, for example, as the fourth estate of the realm, I'll concentrate more on what the 10th National Assembly will be able to bring to the table. We expect to see a complete departure from what we had in the 9th Assembly. The 9th Assembly, for me, was completely rubber stamp and were not really able to perform their duty when it comes to the issue of checks and balances. But again, we should have a better and a more robust National Assembly, 10th Assembly. If I will be looking at the opposition figures, they have the numbers and they should be able to bring something new to the table.
If we're looking at competence, from everything that you just said, bringing something to the table, and well, of course, the importance of the legislature in arms of government. If we are looking at competence, the people who have been pushed forward by the the APC as the chosen ones on behalf of the party, that's Akpabio. You have from the Northwest. Yes. Thank you very much. Barao, yes, that's the name I was looking for. You have all of this. These are experienced people. Akpabio was a two-term governor of Akwa Ibom State. He was also minister of Niger Delta in the past administration. So he's not a novice in Nigerian politics. You have Yari. Well, Yari also has his own, who people believe has all it takes to be the leadership and all. But if we're talking about competence, all of these people have competence. Where do we stand? What's the thin line to be able to know that okay, national interest is what is being put to the table now, as regards, because people are of the opinion that all the executives should just hands off, who becomes what in the National Assembly. But then I see here in the report, it says here that Nigerians who labeled the Ninth National Assembly as rubber stamp got it wrong, because the legislature was not set up to confront the executive, but complement it for good governance. All right. So the importance of having the executive also involved, in what is going on at legislature. Also, what play do you think competence and the fact that national interest is also very important when people? I don't know if I've been able to put it together, string it together for you to.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
First, Sandra, the reason we have three arms of government, first and foremost, beyond the idea of complementing the executive, is for the principles of checks and balance. And so if we have to define checks and balance, make it very simple, is to ensure that, look, we don't have any form of dictatorship. We don't have a rubber stamp assembly. That, look, everything that is brought to the table from the executive is well scrutinized. That's the major reason for having those three tiers of government. So if you understand what I'm saying. Now, I understand the idea of complementing the executive. Nobody saying we should not have an assembly that's going to complement the effort of the executive. And for all of the guys that are out there now who want to become principal officers of the 10th Assembly, the reality is that yes, they have political experience, but in terms of competence, we have to see them, get those positions and begin to perform before we can say they are competent or not. Godswill Akpabio, for example, was a two-term governor. I won't say that, look, in terms of infrastructure in Akwa Ibom State, we may well all agree that he did very, very well. As you said, Akwa Ibom State, I must say that, look, in any state is a very good network of roads. It has to be Akwa Ibom State, and they call it the uncommon governor or something because of his exploits in terms of infrastructure and all of that. Senator Jibril Barau has been in the house for long. He has an extensive experience. But competence is about what you are able to bring to the table when you take over leadership. So we are only going to judge them by what they are able to do when they become Senate President and Deputy Senate President. The same thing goes for Tajudeen Abbas, who is trying to become Speaker, and Ben Kalu wants to become Deputy Speaker. Yes, when we talk about political experience, they all have it. Because again, these are people who have contested elections several times, held several positions. But as far as people officers of the assembly is concerned, we will talk about competence only when we begin to see them perform and what they are able to bring to the table.
All right. Thank you very much. And finally, I just also want to just quickly get this from. We've already established the importance of the legislature. All of that has been established. Very, very important. But then also looking at the fact that a lot of people blame all of the issues that Nigerians had to face under the past administration on the silence of the Ninth National Assembly, or the
docile Ninth Assembly.
Yes, so which is why it is important that we have a much more vibrant 10th National Assembly in this particular one. And well, if we're also going to be looking at equity and all of that, some people would also argue that the North Central geopolitical zone has not produced speaker ever since Nigeria became a democratic nation. So Fuad, going forward now, can we just hope for the best on Tuesday, as regards who becomes what at the 10th National Assembly?
Sandra, we have too many fruits of hope hanging on the tree of Nigeria now. Everybody wants to just hang on and hope that, look, our hope will mature and become something that we can celebrate. Again, I understand the need for a very vibrant National Assembly, Sandra. I keep trying to break it down. That, look, for you to deepen democracy and get the benefit from any democratic arrangement, all the 5 tiers of government, I have really 5, officially it calls about 3, all the 5 must be vibrant and must know how to do their job. The fourth is the executive, the second the legislature, the third is judiciary. The fourth is also very important, and that concerns us, Sandra, as the fourth estate of the realm, the media. Because without an informed society, what becomes of a democracy? So it is very important that, look, we also do our job very well. And to the best of our ability, I think we are trying our best. And then the fifth one is also very important, and there must not be any level of compromise at that level, which is the organized people, civil society organizations, and the ordinary people. Because they can also hold the government to account. So I understand that, look, all of these 5 years of government must be very active to ensure proper dignity of democracy. For example, look at Sandra, look at the charade of the Nigeria Air, or Air Nigeria. Because there's even confusion in the name. Is it Air Nigeria or Nigeria Air? To the extent that after all of the charade and shenanigans of that arrangement, it is now that the National Assembly is now calling officials of the ministry to question them. To the extent that they are even saying that they were not aware of the entire contract. So where lies the oversight function when all of this was happening, Sandra? The oversight function that they were supposed to perform when the Minister of Aviation was doing all of those things in secrecy. What were they sneaking? So we need a vibrant National Assembly more than ever before for us to have a departure from where we are coming from. Very, very important.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to Tuesday. We'll see how things play out. We had quite an interesting one in 2015 where, there was an anointed one, and then, the other party members decided that, oh, no, this is who we want to go for, and then there was a lot of... it was a rocker. So, but then, let's see. We look forward to what would play out on Tuesday at the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly. The big story is on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. In search of an independent 10th National Assembly for tough times. That's a very good. That's a very interesting headline, don't you think, Fuad? The fact that we're looking ahead to tough times, and it's very important that people who are going to be making policies and making laws and all of that, are strong enough to be able to look out for the interests of the people.
Mr. Miwa there means a master of the game. So, I read his articles, I read his editorials, his write-ups, and I know that, look, he chooses his words carefully. He understands what he tries to bring to the table when he chooses words and all of that. So, again, we're hoping that we get a vibrant independent National Assembly, because, again, it is something that we have to call for, pray for, and hope for.
All right, moving on, still on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, we have here PDP Labour Party plot against Tinubu's candidates in National Assembly leadership tussle. And this is still on the 10th National Assembly, conversation, and that is on page 6. And the writer says, Tinubu meets all lawmakers elect, seeks support for Akpabio, Barau, Abbas, Kalum. Drop party colours, fly national colour of progress. Tinubu begs lawmakers elect. Wase vows to take race to wire. Christian leaders seek support for Yari. Governors Forum solidly behind Akpabio, Abbas, says Abiodun. We are collaborating with other opposition parties, keeping our plans secret, says PDP. Labour Party to vote en bloc. Announce choice soon as OT meets lawmakers elect. So ahead of Tuesday's inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, President Bola Tinubu met with 109 senators-elect and 360 House of Representatives members-elect at the presidential villa, Abuja. And as it is now, yes, there are preferred candidates, just as we mentioned earlier, where we have Senator Godswill Akpabio, Senator Jibrin Barau, Tajuddin Abbas, and Benjamin Kalu for Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, and Deputy Speaker, respectively. However, now the opposition parties seem to have something to say. Of course, they should have something to say because we have the numbers that we have now in the 10th, or that we will be having in the 10th National Assembly. The opposition they have the numbers. They're larger than, if you put all of the opposition parties together, they're more than the APC lawmakers elect. So It is, however, a very interesting one. The PDP said they are going to keep their plans under the wraps. They have a secret strategy. As it is now, they have stated that they have concluded work with other opposition parties to vote for common candidates in both chambers. So I know we've already, had this conversation that, especially on political roundtable, Nuruddin said something that at the end of the day, it may not even fall to the desk of the APC National Working Committee. The opposition parties are going to be the heavy, the game changers in all of the intrigues that will be happening on Tuesday. And we're already seeing some playouts.
That's if they work together, Sandra.
They are keeping it a secret.
That's if they are able to work together. Because when you say opposition, you have the Labour Party, you have the PDP, you have the SDP, you have the NNPP, and I think YPP, forming the major cross. Yeah, the YPP forming the major cross of the opposition. And if you look at the figures, yes, Abga too. Now, for senators, you have 59 senators going to the APC, and then the opposition have 50, making it 109. Now, for the House of Reps, you have, the entire opposition having 182, while the APC has 178. The thing is this, Sandra, I doubt if the opposition will be able to work together. I doubt. The voting is going to be secret ballot.
Yes.
And the only reason why they're going to be voting in issues is when you have more than one person contesting for this position. If, for example, because again, when it comes to politicians, 24 hours is a long time for things to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be surprised that we may wake up on Monday and hear that, there's a consensus within the APC. And although the constitution is very clear, it doesn't even talk about party. The constitution even allows that, look, an opposition political party can become Senate president, can become president. So what the constitution says is that, look, the House members shall among themselves choose principal offices. So anybody can contest. Although there are standing rules of the House that talks about ranking senators, ranking honorable members, and all of that. But again, lawyers have been able to clarify that the rules of the House cannot supersede the Constitution. If you understand what I'm saying. But if we're going to have a shocker or anything is going to happen to the choice of the APC, it will be dependent on how the opposition can work together. But I doubt if that's going to happen.
Well, irrespective of, so many ongoings and all of that, the PDP, in strong terms, said they're working together with their members-elect, and they are working with opposition parties in the two chambers. So the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Olugwangba, with regards to the current race for presiding officers, it is instructive to note that the opposition parties put together form a strong majority in the National Assembly. And
let me tell you why, Sandra, why that statement is false.
Okay.
You had the G5 governors recently visited, I think yesterday.
You know what? I was going to get there. I was going to get there, but I just wanted to finish what he was saying.
Yes, that's it.
And he said that, that they're going to form a strong, that yes, the opposition parties form a strong majority if they come together, and that they are very mindful of that. And they said PDP leadership is working together with members-elect and opposition parties in the two chambers. He said, and I quote, "Our members are united in that direction, and it will show on the floor of both houses of the National Assembly." And there's a story here, we'll get to that, where the president, met with the G5, all complete G5. It's not as if one person went, or that, all of them, including sitting governor, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, was at presidential villa Abuja, where the president met with. The story is on page 3 as a matter of fact. Let's see what we have here. The president met with members of the defunct G5, as reported in Guardian newspaper, including Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi Enugu, Samuel Otom Benue, Nyesom Wike Rivers, and current Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde. And it is believed that Makinde and the other former governors will be seeking to take advantage of their cordial relationship with the president to further their personal political fortunes. So with that's very interesting, visitation, but do you think that the PDP and then they have a national acting chairman, they still have their own in-house squabbles and all of that? Do you think that the PDP would be able to actually form a strong opposition in the 10th National Assembly?
I doubt that. I doubt they'll be able to do that. Again, when Olugunagba is saying they are working together, how would they work together when the G5 governors are still, going around, as an opposition to even his own party? But whatever they did with the visit to Ashwadi Bola Ahmed, I understand that yes, it's going to be for personal political gain. Although I still ask myself, what exactly will Ashwadi be giving to this G5 governor? So Imakinde already has a second term. That's probably the best he can get as far as political interest is concerned. Nyesom Wike is able to put a successor, his own chosen successor as governor of Rivers State. What else is going to be getting from Ashwadi Bola Ahmed? I don't know. But he has said that he doesn't want to become the minister. I think in his recent interview. Ugwai, I don't know what else he will be getting as political interest from Ashwadi, because again, he wasn't able to deliver his state. Even though it maybe said that, look, he was able to
deliver his
votes
state
of GDP and all of that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
What I'm saying is that, look, nothing really came from them. Apart from maybe Sheyi Makinde and, what's his name, some Wike that can actually tell Ashwadi that, look, we were able to deliver to you. Autumn, you could not do anything really in the state. You was beating black and blue in the state. Ugwan is the same thing. Ibeas is the same thing.
Yeah, but with this significant visit to the president, to the presidential villa now.
Significant? Is it because it's being reported?
All right, but
what's the matter about their visit to Aso Villa?
What? Do you think they still have a common goal?
No, they have a common goal, and I think to a large extent they still have some level of influence on National Assembly members from their state. I know that somehow they will be able to determine how some of these assembly members vote eventually. But my mind tells me, Sandra, although that may not be reported because that will be the back end politicking that we may not know about. Okay. Let me tell you something, Sandra. The biggest spender, the man with the deepest pocket will win that election. I leave it at that.
It's okay. Thank you very much for that. Well, as going back to the story we're having conversation on, the Labour Party is yet to decide on a particular candidate. This is coming from Victor Ogene, who is Labour Party leader in the House, saying that the Labour Party is yet to decide on a particular candidate, but I can assure you that we are going to vote en bloc. The consultation is on. I do not know those we will vote for yet, but I know those we will not vote for.
Let me say to you, Ralph, to make it easy. You now have to translate yourself.
It's okay.
As far as that National Assembly, 10 National Assembly principal election is concerned, and it will Lulu, I leave it at that.
It's okay. So the business is up to the money bags. That's basically what I got from that.
Yeah, you won't translate it like that. I didn't say that.
That's not what you said. Okay, well, I'm sure that we have Prince Wise and Pastor Ambrose listening. All right, but moving on, still, in the Guardian newspaper, we have here, meanwhile, some relief may soon come the way of the detained leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Ipo Nnamdi Kanu, as efforts are ongoing to convince Tinubu to approve his release. So, Enugu State Governor Peter Mba was at the villa yesterday, where release of the self-acclaimed freedom fighter formed the crux of discussions with the president. Are we going to make headway with Nnamdi Kanu as regards our new president?
Sandra, I've always suggested that there's a political solution to this issue. Honestly, there's all, this is not the first time we're having people of the nature in Nnamdi Kanu detained by the government. It happened during the Obasanjo government when these militants in the Niger Delta, was his name, Asari Dotigo, Gani Adams of the OPC, and a lot of them like that were arrested and detained by the Obasanjo government. And when Yar'Adua came in, he was able to, get some, a political arrangement to release these men. And to a great extent, was able to return peace to some of the troubled areas in Nigeria at that time. It did bit of a departure from what Stephen Olise was doing in terms of his response to agitations and unrest in some parts of the country. So I think actually Bola Ahmed understands why peace was returned to the southeast. If this political solution of releasing Nnamdi Kanu will bring the most desired peace to the southeast, I think we should go with that. I understand actually Bola Ahmed is somebody who plays a lot of politics. He understands the human nature when it comes to human relations and understanding how they think or feel sometimes. He's somebody that plays to human feelings and emotions. So, just again, that has always been on the table. It's just that the immediate president never bought that idea. He was very clear about it that, look, the law should take its course. But I'm seeing a situation where very soon we may be seeing a release of Nnamdi Kanu. And if that will guarantee peace to the Southeast, why not? It's not anything too big to want to consider. But I think that, look, we must also say that, look, releasing Nnamdi Kanu is one thing. His own actions and inactions too must be checked. He must understand that, look, there's no other way to peace, Sandra. Yes, you have a right to agitate. You have a right to question, the current structure of Nigeria. You have the right to question the performance of governance and government in your region. But when you pick up arms against the state would have to respond. And I think they have to understand that. But again, we're hoping to get a political solution to this issue and then, of course, move on so that peace can return to the Southeast.
All right, thank you very much, Fuad. More details on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's keep moving now. Still on the front page of the Guardian, PEPC, INEC staff testifies on failed transmission of presidential results. That is also on page 3. We also have here, Nigeria loses 150 billion naira to gas flaring in 4 months, says Nostra, and that story is on page 28. So just very, very quickly, what we have is that multinational oil and gas companies operating in Nigeria fled over 92 million standard cubic feet of gas, which is worth an estimated 150 billion naira between January and April 2023. And this was contained in a recent National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency report. The report further noted that the volume of gas flared in the 4 months is equivalent to 4.9 million tons of carbon dioxide emission and has a power generation potential of 9,200 gigawatts of electricity per hour. Okay.
Well, it's also one natural resource that God has given to us free that we need to take advantage of. We've been ferrying gas, without really harnessing the potential and opportunity for energy and other things that can come with it. So, again, another agenda on the table for the new administration to look at how to harness this natural resource that God has given to us free. And again, it's just there for us to put on our thinking caps and know what to do with this thing. Like I always say, there's no reason why Nigeria, for example, to be struggling with 3,000, 4,000 megawatts of electricity when we have all of these resources. We even have water for hydro-powered electric transmission. This is Africa. Even the sun. I was reading an article, Sandra, for example, that in Germany, through solar panels, Germany is able to generate more than 20,000 megawatts of electricity just using solar. You understand? And they don't have the kind of sun we have. They don't have the kind of weather we have. Even if it's by windmill, they are part of the north that have this kind of wind all through the year. If I go to generate power through windmills, we have water in different parts of the country. The hydroelectric power generation is there that we can harness.
All right.
So it's just about people being deliberate about these things, really, Sandra. I'm very intentional about it. We can get it done.
All right. Also on page 26 of the Guardian, we have transfer power to your deputy to avert constitutional crisis. SDP tells Akeredolu. So the Social Democratic Party yesterday urged Ondo State Governor to hand over power in an acting capacity to his deputy, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, to avert a constitutional crisis in the state. Yes, this conversation started yesterday. I think there's something, there are procedures as regards these things. The governor of Ondo State has been in ill health for quite a while now.
Certainly.
Yes, okay, allegedly then, if that's how we want to report it. Okay, so but if a state is in that situation, or if a leader is in that situation, isn't there something that can be done, as regards the deputy, pending when the said leader can or is strong enough to get back to his duties?
That's why you have a deputy governor. That's the reason why the governorship seat has somebody deputizing him, so that when he's incapacitated, he hands over to the deputy to begin to run the affairs of the state. It's not look, as human beings, we can all fall sick. And so it's not a problem that, look, you have an health challenge that you're battling with. But what the constitution tries to avoid by creating the office of the deputy governor is that in case anything, you know that's why they are called a spare tire, sorry, quote and unquote. Because look, unless something happens to the governor or the governor is incapacitated, you'll find that a lot of the deputy governors don't even have any jobs to do. But there's a reason why you have the post of the deputy governor. So that in case of things like this, the state does not fall suffer in terms of governance. You just hand over, just write the state out of assembly that look, I have so, and so for this period of time, I will not be available to perform my duty. And so I hand over to my deputy governor to take charge of the affairs of the state. Okay. And if I think there are constitutional provisions for how long that can happen before the governor is removed completely if he cannot perform his duties. But Sandra, if it is for the people, if governance is about the interest of the people, if a governor feels look, he doesn't have the capacity to function again, why not step aside for the sake of the state? And finally, Sandra, there's a very dirty politics that is being played out in Ondo State, allegedly, being reported, we can't confirm it yet, that there are efforts now, because again, the governor does not want to hand over to his deputy, there are efforts by the state assembly to impeach him on frivolous allegations, so that somebody of interest or chosen interest like the governor now take over as deputy governor, and then he can now hand over to that person. Why do we have to disrupt the system because of personal interest?
Okay, but
again, it's an allegation. There are no facts to it yet.
Yes. On that note, or on the note of that allegation, the little that my tiny self knows is that there are a number of days that an executive is out of office.
Yes.
That whether or not he writes a letter, the House can come in, and then the deputy gets to take over. I remember there were conversations around this, when the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, went on, on a health trip. And, it was then they said 90 days or 100 days. If it was not on seat for 100 days or so, then the deputy, takes over. So, yeah, I'm with you.
You know, Sandra, what you have in those states is not that the government is completely absent. No. But the issue is that he seems to have an obvious health challenge that keeps him on and off from office. That's the issue here now. And so what the people are saying is that, look, instead of having that break on and off as governor, why didn't you just step aside and attend to your health concerns if that's really the problem, so that somebody who doesn't have that challenge can see to the affairs of the state? Because as it is, the report is that some governors is suffering seriously in those states. A lot of times when you hear Akeredolu speak on any issue, Sandra, it's just media is using press releases. And then people trying to, do damage control by recording in 3 minutes watching football match, or maybe in the gym, or, that will not solve the problem. The fact will always be the fact. And if you hide these things, you allow for more conspiracy theory to come up on it.
Well, whether or not, whatever it is that is happening within closed doors, one day would be out in the open. More details on...
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
More details on page 26 of the Guardian newspaper. Whether whether it is the cabinet members, whether it is just some people who are just trying to put some do some bubu yaya. Let me put it that way. In all of it,
political bubu yaya. I borrow you.
We'll get to know very soon. All right, that's all we can take from the Guardian newspaper. Unfortunately, we spent so much time on the Guardian, so I'm going to be rushing. Yeah, so I'm going to rush in very quickly through the rest of the papers. You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Trends in the Papers, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's move on to the Punch newspaper. The major headline there says National Assembly leadership, Tinubu's meeting with lawmakers fails to resolve zoning crisis. And the writer says President called for zoning, failed to name anointed aspirants, says sources. Opposition parties claim majority, plots to use number against APC candidate. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Now we also have here Nigeria Air. Is it Air Nigeria or Nigeria Air?
Is it so? Even the name there's confusion.
I took it. Nigeria Air. Arewa Group demands Sirika's arrest. Stories on page 28 of the Punch newspaper.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Okay.
But that's not laughing. Moving on. INEC.
Somebody said the Nigeria Air thing is an air raid.
Oh, I saw that. I saw you posted you posted
A
that.
major airing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Fuad, you know that the plane that had our logo does not have our logo again.
They don't remove it. And it was scattered. It was just a cosmetic arrangement now. You want to see how the help will look like, let us show it to you. That's why I said, if somebody there is an airing, you know, and that's why I said that they run or something. They don't run or something.
Well,
I think the FCC has a bigger job than chasing after Yahoo boys. The big Yahoo guys are on ground to really run after.
above the masthead of the Punch newspaper, we have subsidy. NNPCL failed to remit over 8 trillion naira.
I just said it now that the FCC has a bigger job to handle.
That's, wow, oh Lord. Well, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission on Thursday said NNPCL withheld about 8.48 trillion naira meant for the Federation account since January 2022. Fuhad, I'm going to ask this question. There was a revelation sometime last week that the federal government or Nigeria is owing NNPCL 2.8 trillion naira. And that
they are holding our 8 point something trillion.
I'm asking, could it be possible that, you know, because the NNPCL claimed that the federal government had not been able to pay for subsidy, so the NNPCL had been the one paying themselves. Yes, on exactly. So could it be that, you know, oh, we've been paying for you, so whatever money that we're making, we are recouping it.
We should keep it for.
Yes. Based on this report,
it is even an illegality. It is fraudulent to withhold remittances that are supposed to go to the federal government by the NNPCL. It's in itself what you can call fraud that should be immediately prosecuted, investigated and prosecuted. For you to hold on to monies that should go to the, to the purse of the federal government. Why do you hold on to such a money? I didn't say the government is owing you 2.8 trillion naira. What did you tell? How were you expected to even recover it? So are we saying the NNPC? And that's why, I was questioning why they already transited from NNPC to NNPCL. Up till now, that NNPCL arrangement is still shrouded in secrecy. Why the hurry moving from NNPC to NNPCL when there are still a lot of questions about how the NNPC has been handling the oil sector? And up till today, that's why I said my own choice is that I don't know of any NNPCL yet. Until all of the questions surrounding the operations of NNPC in the last at least 10 years are barely unraveled.
All right.
Because the transition in itself was shrouded in secrecy. Up till now, who are the board members of the NNPCL? Are they board members?
Okay.
Are they being quoted as a company?
All right, thank you very much. That is the report that we have here. Speaking on the non-remittance by NNPCL, the RMAFC boss said the country can no longer sustain a fuel subsidy whose demerit far outweighs its benefits to the citizenry. It is saddening to know that since January 1, 2022 to date, the NNPCL has not been contributing to the Federation account due to the claimed subsidy payments. The total amount withheld by the NNPCL as claimed subsidies for this period amounted to over 8 trillion naira, as reported by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, which has yet to be reconciled by the RMAFC, the OAAGF, and NNPCL. The story is on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. Well, so
they are the ones
very quickly.
They are the ones paying themselves. You don't understand what I'm saying?
No, I totally get it.
You are the one paying yourself. Nobody is checking the books. Accounts are not reconciled. There are no details of anything. And Nigerians are suffering. It's unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate.
Also on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have reps step down 543 billion naira judgment debt payments. That's on page 27. I'll just run through it very, very quickly so we can see other stories that we have in the papers. The House of Representatives wound down on Wednesday without approving the loan request by the immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari for the federal government to pay some judgment debts totaling approximately over 543 billion. The chairman of the House Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management, Ahmed Dayabo, laid the report on the presidential request, but the lawmakers resolved that work had not been concluded on it and stepped down its consideration to the 10th National Assembly. So, okay, well, that's that about that. It's a very long read. I wish I had the time to get to give us more information as regards that. But the story is on page 27 rather, of the Punch newspaper. All right, very quickly also we have Vanguard here, and the major headline: oil revenue crash pushes federal government's deficit to 513 billion naira in February. And their riders, it says it is 16% below budget benchmark, says CBN. Non-oil revenue declines too. Federation account revenue drops 32%.
Oh my goodness.
The story
And you now say our revenue to GDP problem now. And so when Labour is demanding heaven and earth, I just laugh. Where would the money come from?
200,000.
Just reading this story, you understand where the problem is now. Where would 200,000 naira minimum wage come from?
200,000 naira.
When their revenue shortfall, every day the revenue keeps dropping. We are not even making enough money. Nigerians, please take care of yourself.
Why? That sounded very bleak. It has something like
You just read what you just read out again. I'm sure Nigerians can deduce what I'm trying to say.
Some months ago, we had a conversation, as regards an accountant general that was, supposedly or allegedly dismissed or whatnot, that when he confessed or that they were borrowing to pay salaries, at the office of the accountant general of the Federation. And here we are now. The Federation account revenue drops by 32%. Non-oil revenue has declined as well. The story is on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper, so we can understand that there's a whole lot more around. Okay, moving on, still on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, we have here federal government puts payments to MDAs on hold. That is on page 9. Very quickly, why the federal government has put the payments of ministries, departments, and agencies on hold. It says payment to contractors. Presidency sources disclosed that the directive was given from the highest level, became important for two reasons. Said the first was described as last-minute payments, as former President Buhari was bowing out of government. According to the source, the second reason was due to a problem with the government integrated financial management information system. Well, the story is on page 9 of Vanguard newspaper. Also on Vanguard newspaper, presidential poll, Obi produces software engineer as witness. That's interesting. Stories on page 27. Nassau Assembly factional speaker accuses Commissioner of Police of fueling crisis. That's also on page 9. There's public holiday on Monday, so we have a long weekend.
Yes.
I hope that would make some people happy wherever they are listening to us right now. That's all we can take this morning on Trends in the Papers. It's 8:30. We'll be back by 8:40 for Milan Focus, where you get to be a part of the conversation. We'll share the focus for this morning when we come back. My name still remains Omobola Sandra. I have Fuhad Sahid via the phone line, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.